Hello, people. Good day. Hope you're having a really, really pleasant day. So, yeah, I want us to talk about, I want to talk about something that is very important, something that forms the foundation of your parenting, our parenting, everybody's parenting, something that forms the basis of what we do around parenting. And this refers to parenting styles. Just as we have individualities, personalities, we also have parenting styles. Everybody's parenting style is not the same. What I do around in my parenting is probably not what the next person is doing. So yeah, and I feel that having a proper understanding around this would probably give you a better insight as to what to expect from your parenting, you know. So, diving right in, parenting differs widely across families, with cultural backgrounds playing a significant role in shaping family dynamics and child rearing practices. Culture refers to the totality of a people's way of life. Every single thing you do around your life, what you choose to do, how you choose to do it refers to your culture. It is the shared pattern of social norms, values, languages, and behavior which significantly influences parenting. So you realize that it is what you are that you bring into parenting. You don't take it away. You don't say, oh no, I'm going to do it this way. It is the information you have at your disposal, the knowledge you have, your experiences, the things you were exposed to, how you were raised, and then the decisions you've taking with regards to your parenting, and then the things you choose. Okay, this one I'm going to be doing going forward. They are the things that come to play when you get into your parenting. You don't take away who you are, you don't take away your experiences, except of course you choose to work on them. Somebody who has childhood trauma will most likely parent from a place of pain. Somebody who was not raised adequately will most probably have more of a reactional parenting than a reflective parenting. So, having given this little introduction to this topic, it is safe to say that parenting styles refer to the behavioral strategies that parents choose to adopt in raising their children. Different parents have different approaches to guiding, raising, and interacting with their child or children. It is what is peculiar to you. It is what you're comfortable with. It is what you have conformed to. That's what you bring into parenting. So now we can also go on to say that these behavioral strategies that parents choose to adopt is what shapes their morals, shapes their principles, shapes their behaviors. You can't take away your parenting style from the outcome of your child. It has a significant role to play, except, of course, that child grows and then chooses to reparent himself or herself. Of course, there's always a season where you unlearn certain things and then relearn other things. Now, as a result of certain researches and studies, there are different categories, different groups of parenting styles. But for this particular discussion or conversation, we're going to be dwelling on four predominant parenting styles. Okay, the first parenting style we're going to be talking about is authoritarian parenting. In authoritarian parenting, parents believe that children should be seen and not heard. They don't consider the feelings of the children when they make decisions. They expect blind obedience from these children. No questions asked, just follow the rules, and that's the kind of setup you experience in an authoritarian parenting setup. You also experience high demandingness and low responsiveness. They're not emotionally attached to these children, but they have rules that they expect should be followed to the letter. No questions, no explanation of rules. They just meet you at any point of default with punishment rather than discipline. They rather toe the path of punishment than use teachable moments to raise children. Now, what's the outcome of this kind of parenting? The children can be highly disciplined, but may struggle with low self-esteem, may struggle with anxiety, low confidence. So the next parenting style we're going to be talking about is permissive parenting. In permissive parenting, parents do not set rules. And when they even manage to set rules, they don't enforce them. They don't follow through with consequences that children should go through when they do certain things. They think their children can do well without their interference as parents. Now, this kind of parents are scared of conflict. They play more of a friend role to their children than an authority figure. They feel, I can't let my child go through this kind of stress. He just doesn't need to go through it. And then they forget that most of the times the world doesn't give people a soft landing. And this kind of parents are used to bailing out their children. Instead of letting that child go through the consequence of their action, they would rather step in and say, no, please have mercy on him, let him not. And they also forget that when you bail out a male child, something dies in them. You kill responsibility in them. And now you find out that this kind of parents they have difficulty in following through, structure. What they basically bring is nurture. And now they forget that a balanced child has a blend of both structure and nurture. Now they just bring structure, they just bring nurture, and that's all. They don't bring structure to the table, and then they raise children who can comfortably survive within the four walls of their home. And most of the times these children bow at the face of pressure or circumstances that are not palatable, because the aim is to raise children who would thrive, who would survive, who can actually handle failure, who can actually handle negative responses from people. But this kind of parents just feel, oh no, he shouldn't go through, he shouldn't have to face that, why am I his parent, and all of that. Now, what are the outcome of children who are raised in this kind of environment? They tend to struggle with authority because they are not used to it from the home. They are just used to having things their way. Maybe there's a consequence for something they did. When they beg their parents will be like, okay, it's fine, it's okay, it's all right. So they don't know how to follow through with rules. They don't know how to cope with authority. And this kind of children struggle with impulse control, and their academic performance sometimes might, have issues. Though these kind of children have a decent level of self-confidence. The third parenting style we're going to be talking about is uninvolved parenting or neglectful parenting. This kind of parents are not interested. They have no business. If they manage to meet the physical basic needs of their child or children, they've done enough. There's no emotional attachment. There's no connectivity whatsoever. They don't ask about the child's school activities or other things. They rarely know what's going on with their child. They don't spend much time with their children. They just feel, once I have done this, it's more than enough. This kind of parents are disconnected from their child's life. They are not involved. In this kind of parenting, what you meet is low demandingness and low responsiveness. Like, they are just not there. They are their parents, but nothing. Now, what's the outcome of this kind of parenting? Children become overly independent at a very young age. You see things like parentification stepping in because there's nobody there to guide them. There's nobody there to hold them in the hand and then teach them life. So these children assume those roles all by themselves without anybody being there to tend to them or guide them. Now, what's the outcome of this kind of parenting? Look, I think I've said something about that. They become overly independent. They tend to struggle with emotional control and attachment. In fact, overall well-being, because this kind of children might struggle with self-esteem because nobody was there to validate them, nobody was there to teach them what self-love is and all of that. So the next parenting style we're going to be talking about, which is the final one, is authoritative parenting. In authoritative parenting, you meet high demandingness and high responsiveness. They are there for all of it. They are there through it all. How does authoritative parenting look? You see parents establish clear rules and high expectations and are also there to nurture. They're also there to support. They're also there to communicate. They don't leave the children all by themselves to raise themselves. Unlike, neglectful parenting who expects children to raise themselves. This particular style of parenting involves the parents 100%. They explain reasoning, they explain rules, they allow children to ask questions where they don't understand. They allow children to question rules when they come across things they don't really understand. They consider their child's feelings when making decisions. Now, what's the outcome of this kind of parenting? Children often develop high self-esteem, strong emotional regulation, and solid social skills. Discipline in this kind of parenting depends on teachable moments. The parents do not go overboard to prove a point or to let the child know I'm the one in charge. They put a lot of effort into creating and maintaining a positive relationship with their children. Like I said earlier, they are here for all of it. They explain reasons behind rules, they set limits, enforce them, and give consequences. But while they give consequences, they consider the child's feelings, they consider the child's well-being. They don't just run the home like it's a military zone. Now, we've talked about all the styles of parenting, and the best parenting style is the authoritative parenting style. Parents who are authoritative invest time and energy into preventing behavioral problems before they even start. They also use positive discipline strategies to reinforce positive behavior, like the reward system, the praising the children when they get it right. They also do things like validating them and all of that. Children who are raised with or by authoritative parents often tend to be happy and successful generally in life. Now, there is no such thing as a perfect parenting style, and most times most parents don't fit into just one category of the parenting styles. You could see yourself being permissive today and tomorrow you're falling into another category. But it is proven that the best parenting style is authoritative parenting style. So all you need to do, you don't have to guilt trip yourself or start feeling bad or parent shaming yourself. All you just need to do is work towards becoming that authoritative parent, work towards being the parent your child would actually want, because the truth of the matter is that no child wants a perfect parent. They want a present parent, and usually that's why we often say it is presence over present. Whatever you're gifting your child that is taking your presence away is indirectly killing that child without you knowing, because what you don't consciously teach a child at 7, you cannot expect at 17. So basically what we are advocating for is that you be a present parent. Most of the times, it does not even take your entire day because we understand you need to work, you need to do business. Just take intentional steps to be there for your child and to be all that your child needs you to be. Okay, thank you for having me today. And don't forget, I'm here to help you walk through this journey of becoming an intentional and impactful parent. Do have a lovely day.